Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makarkadash. Double honors to the elders for preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. And Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. I say Shalom to you Akim out there, and this is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out. And this is from the Guardian WorldNews.com, and it reads: Israel launched airstrikes in the Gaza Strip, the biggest rockets salvo since 2006. And it says rockets fired from Gaza and Lebanon, and second Israeli raid on al-Ashraka Mosque struck fears of further escalation. And this is a photo right here, shows several explosions coming from Gaza were heard as the Israeli army said it was carrying out airstrikes in the area. And this was updated April 6, 2023. Staff and agencies in Jerusalem, and it reads: the Israelis has launched airstrikes in the Gaza Strip after a day of rocket fire from Gaza and Lebanon. A second Israeli police raid on Jerusalem's al-Ashraka Mosque stoked fears of further escalation during the overlapping religious holidays. Excuse me. And it says two explosions were heard in Gaza late on Thursday. It was not immediately clear what had been targeted. The airstrikes came as Israeli security cabinet was meeting to discuss a response to what the Israeli Defense Force described as the biggest rocket salvo since the 2006 war into the northern Israel. Most of the 35 projectiles were intercepted, but there were two minor injuries and a fire. Earlier, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged an aggressive response to the rocket fire, which the Israeli army blamed the Palestinian groups. The marked uptick in violence during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan and the beginning of the Jewish Passover holiday comes after a year of increasing bloodshed in the Israeli-Palestine conflict. It also carried the echoes of 2021 when clashes at al-Ashraka during the Ramadan helped start the 11-day war between Israel and Hamas. Thursday's events have held to the fears of a widening conflagration around the region. Hezbollah and its allies have faced extensive attacks by the Israeli jets in Syrian territories over last week, striking in what Israel believes to be sites of the manufactured drones. At least two members of the organization are believed to have been killed during a night raids that leveled several hangars at Syrian air bases. The military group has vowed to strike back a arch foe whomever its members are killed, but like Hamas and the Gaza Strip remains wary of an escalation. The Palestinian groups operate in the south of Lebanon. None do so without the knowledge of Hezbollah, and a large scale of rocket strike would almost certainly be coordinated. The raid of the Palestinians by the Israeli police inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque could have offered a pretext for a limited rocket strike which served both the Palestinians and Hezbollah, and gave the latter of at least some deniability. Early on Thursday, Palestinian militants Gaza launched about 9 rockets into Israel in early hours, setting off air raid sirens across south of the country, but causing no casualties or damage. Most of the rockets exploded before impact. the Israeli army says, and none of the Gaza military groups claim responsibility. And it says 2 rockets were fired just before the second incident at the holiest Jerusalem site late on Wednesday and early on Thursday, in which police used stun grenades and rubber bullets entering the compound to remove the worshippers. 6 people were injured, according to the Palestinian Crescent. So I'm going to read all the rest of that, but we get to the scripture. Salakia. Bring out the Matthews. Wrong scripture. Meant to say Matthews 24:6. Excuse me about that. This is Matthews 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And next scripture, Matthews 24:7, and it reads through the Holy Scriptures. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, so this is nation shall rise against nation. And this is a prime example right here. As it says again, from the Guardian World News article, as it says, Israel launched the airstrikes in Gaza Strip after the biggest rocket salvo since 2006, since the war in 2006, and the war in 2014 as well too, and the war of 2021 as well too. So we're definitely seeing the increasing uptick of conflict, of escalation between these two different nations, and organization factors of Hezbollah and Hamas as well too, versus the resistance from the resistance from the Palestinians and Hezbollah and Hamas as well too, versus the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Force. So that shows a prime example of a nation shall rise against nation, and that's what we're seeing in the latter days, nation against nation. So it's going to continue to escalate and increase more and more between these two different nations. So with that, this was a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out of this recent news article from the Guardian World News. As it says again, Israel launched airstrikes in Gaza Strip after the biggest rocket salvo since 2006. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem B'Karkadash. Double honors to the elders for preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim scattered through the 4 corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.